distance, reserve, and often contempt of others. Then, and I love this, Webster quotes a Bible verse to demonstrate it. Those that walk in pride, he's able to abase. That's from Daniel chapter 4:37. And that's a quote from King Nebuchadnezzar. You remember the story. He said, oh man, I'm king of everything. I got it all this I did in my own power. So God brought him down. He ended up, eating grass like an animal. And when he finally was allowed to come back to himself, that was one of the last things he said is, God is able to abase. So conversely, humility is defined as the state or quality of being humble, freedom from pride and arrogance, lowliness of mind, a modest estimate of one's own worth, a sense of one's own unworthiness through imperfection and sinfulness, self-abasement, humbleness. And he quotes Acts 20, verse 19, serving the Lord with all humility. So understanding that, it brings to mind, to my mind at least, that we've all been quoting a famous verse in recent weeks with all the things going on in our nation and in the world. And we've been quoting this 1 Chronicles 7:14. Y'all have been hearing this, 7:14. If my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then I will hear from heaven. I will forgive their sin and heal their land. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I submit that we haven't fulfilled the Lord's requirement. We want the perks, but we don't want to do the work. And I'm talking about me personally, but I feel like most of us, if not all of us, are probably guilty of the same thing, because this humility we choose to humble ourselves. We all know the verse, humble yourself in the sight of the Lord and he will lift you up. It doesn't say God will humble you and then God will lift. No, you humble yourself and then God will lift you up. And, Tim mentioned in his prayer, choose. We choose to follow Jesus every day. And I feel like we choose to walk in humility too. We choose whether or not we're going to walk in pride or humility. So what got me going in this vein was I was reading in Philippians 2, 1-3. I'm going to read from several versions. I found it fascinating. Contemporary English version. Christ encourages you and his love comforts you. God's Spirit unites you and you are concerned for others. Now make me completely happy. Live in harmony by showing love for each other. Be united in what you think as if you were only one person. Don't be jealous or proud, but be humble and consider others more important than yourselves. That statement got me. Consider others more important than yourselves. And I said, God, I haven't been doing that. I have not been doing that. NIV says, do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit. Rather, in humility, value others above yourselves. I haven't been doing that. King James, let nothing be done through strife or vainglory, but in lowliness of mind, let each esteem other. I looked it up several times to make sure other, it doesn't say others, other better than themselves. In the Passion Translation, don't allow self-promotion to hide in your hearts, but in authentic humility, put others first and view others as more important than yourselves. And I thought, we can choose to do that once, but that doesn't get it. We have to choose that over and over and over again, not just once at the altar, not just once a week, not just once a day. Over and over, I've been finding myself having to choose it over and over. Some thought will come into my mind and I'll think, Lord, forgive me. That person is more important than me. This is just how the Lord's been dealing with me about it. In Proverbs 13:10, it says, where there's strife, there's pride, but wisdom is found in those who take advice. And the longer I thought about it, I realized that all strife is married to pride. It's our own determination that our opinion should reign supreme, that we're right against all odds. You know, we've had this joke in our family and in our home group about opinion. You know, if you have an opinion, does that mean it's right, or is it just an opinion? Well, I was saying, well, if I have an opinion, it's because it's right. But that's bathed in pride. That's bathed in pride. And the longer I look at this, the more I don't want that. I think of the Jesus that I fell in love with. And the Jesus I fell in love with, and the Jesus that you fell in love with, is the one who knew he was the King of Kings. He knew he was the Son of the living God, but he washed the feet of the disciples. That's the Jesus I fell in love with. He knew who he was. He knew exactly who he was, but he came to serve others. And he said, I came as a servant. I didn't come to lord it over you. I am your Lord, but I'm not here to lord it over you. So I want to read something too. It's something that a dear friend of mine shared at my Realtor Bible study group, and I think she's online this morning. Her name is Daisy. And I want to read this. It really impressed me at the time. Bear with me. A young lady sat in a bus. At the next stop, a loud and grumpy lady came and sat by her. She squeezed into the seat and bumped her with her numerous bags. The person sitting on the other side of the young lady got upset, asked her why she didn't speak up or say something. The young lady responded with a smile. It's not necessary to be rude or argue over something so insignificant. The journey together is so short. I'll get off at the next stop. This response deserves to be written in golden letters. It's not necessary to argue over something so insignificant. Our journey together is so short. If each one of us realizes that our time here is short, that to darken it with quarrels, futile arguments, not forgiving others, discontentment, and a fault-finding attitude would be a waste of time and energy. Did someone break your heart? Be calm. The journey is so short. Did someone betray, bully, cheat, or humiliate you? Be calm. Forgive. The journey is so short. Whatever troubles anyone brings to us, let us remember that our journey together is so short. No one knows the duration of this journey. No one knows when their stop will come. Our journey together is so short. Let us cherish friends and family. Let us be respectful, kind, and forgiving to each other. Let us be filled with gratitude and gladness. If ever I have hurt you, I ask for your forgiveness. If you've ever hurt me, you already have mine. After all, our journey together is so short. And my message today is that short. That's all I have to give. So let our journey together, short or long, be filled with love and humility, esteeming one another as more important than ourselves. Let us not walk in pride. Let us choose to walk in humility, which I think we've all found means that we'll walk in the power of Jesus Christ himself, because where we're weak, he's strong. When we think we're strong, we really have very little, unless we know that our only strength is in him. Amen.